Hi, everybody. It's Lynn with Mind Blowing Energy and you, bringing the woo-woo to everyday living. And today we have an amazing guest. But first, actually, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor of the day, which is A Chime for Healing. They're handcrafted wind chimes tuned to healing frequencies, which is so cool. So if you get a chance, check them out at achimeforhealing.ca. But yeah, so today's guest is Rosalyn Fung, and she's a self-love, life, and business coach for women and entrepreneurs. And she has a background as a registered psychologist and a second-degree black belt in karate. Hey, Rosalyn, how you doing?
Hey, Lynn, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to have our interview today.
Yes, well, I'm excited to have you because, yeah, Rosalyn and I met, I guess it would be about a month and a half ago now.
Yeah.
We managed to get together for coffee and had the most interesting conversation that could have gone on, I'm sure, for days. So I was really excited to have her as part of the podcast so everybody else could see just the amazing work that Rosalyn does and just the amazing person she is. So, Rosalyn, just tell us more about like what you do, because you actually do quite a bit and you have such an interesting background. So yeah, just tell us about what you do and how it benefits your clients.
Well, I'll use my tagline. I use Haikomi to help women unleash their inner Wonder Woman. And so Haikomi is a very powerful, transformative method. It combines neuroscience, psychology, and spirituality into a mindfulness-based approach. And what it means is, how do I stand in relationship with myself? And how do I stand in relationship with others? And so when I was learning about Haikomi back in 2009, you cannot not work on your own stuff. So it helps me really. I was at that point operating from a place of lack and not enough. And I was an overachiever as a result of that, perfectionist. And I was a type A personality. And I laugh now because I'm totally recovered from that. Although maybe sometimes it pops out a little bit, right? And I was coming from this place of I am valued in my doingness rather than my beingness. And my beingness was never enough. And so that's really who I work with, are women and women entrepreneurs who struggle with this not enough, who are old versions of me. And I help them shift into a place of I am enough and really valuing who they are, because we all have gifts and messages and our story to share in this world, and other people need to hear it to heal, to transform their lives. And so I help women get out of their own way to step into their brilliance so that they can be on stage to speak or in front of Facebook Live or camera, be able to run workshops, be able to confidently learn how to stand out in the industry. It's so fun for me. So I combine the personal development with business strategies for my clients.
Wow. And, just actually from what you're explaining too is, and I'm just thinking back to some of the people I know, and there are a lot of women actually that have that kind of that feeling of, I'm not enough and we're not able or capable or whatever. The things that are stopping us from actually being, like you said, the amazing, cool people that we really are.
Absolutely. Yeah. That died itself.
Yeah. So do you find that majority of the women you have are entrepreneurs or?
Yes. Yeah. I have a lot of entrepreneurs I work with. I have a couple male entrepreneurs as well. So who I work with are coaches, consultants, therapists. I know that field very well. I've been a registered psychologist for 11 years in private practice, and I'll talk about that story in a little bit, but I love working with them. I love working with holistic nutritionists, personal trainers, anyone that's in the service-based industry, energy workers even. It's just a lot of the, there's so much brilliance happening here, but maybe blocks, and then you just don't know what you don't know. So lack of business strategies and a business model. A lot of times as energy workers, we are very sky energy, but like kind of lacking in the ground energy. So I can help with the both like creating that sense of like, let's really ground this.
Right.
The practicalities of how we're going to implement this so that you can really put your message out there.
Wow, that's incredible. Because I just see that as such a need now, especially because so many people are talking about the shift in consciousness.
Absolutely.
And women are coming out more and more and needing the support.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
And being able to get out of the old mindset.
Yeah. And that's really what holds us back, is just our own fears. And we act as if these fears are our truths, and they're not. Yeah. They're just old beliefs that used to serve us at some point in our life and has helped us survive. But now it's like wearing a life jacket you created when you were young and trying to put that same life jacket on now, and it's not going to fit.
No. In fact, some of my clothes, actually, I have that problem. I don't know how that happened, but oh well. Well, yeah, Rosalyn, your background is so interesting from some of the stories that you told me. And part of it is your own personal story behind what you do now. Yeah. So maybe actually if you could share just a little bit of, your personal motivation behind what you do.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'll try to condense it because I could probably talk for days about it. So I started in private practice as a psychologist. I have a master's in marriage and family therapy about 11 years ago, and accidentally got into it. Thought I was applying for different organizations and happened to apply for a private practice. They took me on their wing, and I just learned so much about business, and I loved it. And it was incredible. So you learn along the way, you make lots of mistakes, and then you learn again, right? So it's been awesome. And in that time in my personal life, so I was struggling with body image issues. I was, again, not coming from this place of not enough, and very, very dominant masculine personality. So strong in that. And got into dieting. And when I was about 18, my first diet. And it was, I wanted to get like this perfect body, and thinking that was going to bring me the happiness that I was seeking for with myself. Mm-hmm. And what was great about it was I learned how food can make you look. I'm going to emphasize that rather than feel, because at that point I'm all about getting the hot body, and just keep going with that. I learned how food can also, not food, but I really inspired other people get into the gym with me and start working out. I also got a lot of attention from boys. That was awesome. But there was a really dark side to it. And that was, I started to binge eat. Oh. I really didn't know anything about nutrition. It was just like, I follow this plan right to the T. So when you're on a cheat meal, I thought, I can eat whatever I want. So I would start to eat all these foods that weren't part of the diet. And this went on for years. And of course that comes with an emotional roller coaster, which I just kept pushing down my feelings, kept perfecting my body, kept binge eating. And then in 2008, I pushed my body to the next level, which is taking it to compete in bodybuilding. So in a stage called figures, so or a category. And so I look like, here I am looking like a fitness model, and I have my ideal perfect body, but I was completely anxious, Lynn. It's the most anxious I've ever been in my life. I was completely obsessed with food, thinking what to eat, how many calories, if I struggle back, how long would I have to work out for. And so I was on this track of restrict, binge, feel guilty, beat myself up, punish myself with over-exercising over these years. And I was never happy enough with my body and bring me the happiness I thought I would. So I knew that was like my aha moment to go, all right, like I can't keep going this way. And then this is where Haikomi came into my life. And when you're learning something, you cannot not work on your own stuff. And so I moved from not enough to knowing I am enough, and I have and I can do so much more in this world. And in 2000 I was on mat leave in 2012. My first son was born, and I knew there was something just so much more powerful. I got certified in eating psychology, and then I started running food and body image and self-love groups, transformation groups for women. So over the last 7-ish years, I've ran more than 12. I've ran one for men, but men are really hard to market to. And it was still powerful. And like just women are coming and coming. It was really effortless. And I'm the type of person that gets inspired by other people. So I'm like, wow, look at this amazing transformation women can make from, I hate my body, I feel guilty around eating food, they're chronic dieters, there were versions of me. And realizing, oh my gosh, my body's not that bad after 8 weeks. Of course, it's not cured, right? But like they were well on their way to appreciating who they are and see themselves outside of their body. And I was like, this is incredible. So in 2014, when I give birth, this was now my second son being born, I just don't birth a baby. I birth a baby in my career as well. I decided to create an online program as the first psychologist in Alberta. And that was a real big adventure. Wow. Not knowing, how do I stay ethical in doing this? How do I, make sure that this is going to create positive impacts and no harm and all that. So I was consulting a lot and just did it. And then had all these women from different areas in the world just buy the program, and it was just lit me up. And what frustrated me was I couldn't work with women outside of Alberta because that's where I'm licensed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And at this point, I was enrolled in working in a group coaching program with other coaches. And I was so inspired by seeing what they were creating and like how they were not limited. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. And it started planting a seed for me. And over the years, I just kept questioning. I worked with a business coach and I worked with a spiritual healer. So I do a lot of my own work still, right. And I always will. I always say I'm a student of life first. And it came to a point where I realized, I have something bigger to offer in this world. And my energy is so big. My love is so big. I just want to create. I want to be able to touch other people's lives in different ways. And this license is holding me back. So I started a coaching business last year and accidentally found out that as effective as I am as a psychologist, I'm so much more effective as a coach because I can be so much more creative in how I support my clients. I can bring in my Reiki. I can bring in different medium methods. And I was just like, this is how I want to show up. This is truly authentic to how I really want to show up as a healer, as a coach. And so I resigned, and it's been incredible. It's just been incredible to see now working with on the higher level, the healers themselves. And it's just been amazing to see the work that has created ripple effects. So it lights me up. And I love it so much. I realized like I have all these skills and tools and knowledge that other entrepreneurs need to hear so that they can get their message out there.
Yes, very much so.
That's my story. I've like tried to shorten it down, but it's a pretty big journey. So
well, yeah, and it's amazing, and like so many parts of it, I'm sure so many people can recognize in themselves. And like it's amazing actually that you walked away from being having your psychology business.
That was probably like the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my career. Because we're all onion layers, and I didn't realize how much of my own ego and self-worth was tied into the title of psychologist. I'm like, I wasn't ready to embrace coach yet, and I'm like, I don't know, and so like it definitely was an emotional roller coaster ride. But now I just have no fear. I have no fear, and I hope that your listeners who are watching this can realize like you can do this. It's just all about your beliefs, and we're in this comfort zone, right? Everything's comfortable. Like I could stay in my profession, but I know I would be playing small. I know that.
Yeah.
And as I stepped out of it to be more in alignment of how I'm supposed to show up in this world and that next level, it's been incredible. Like even this last couple of weeks has been miraculous for me. Just women coming forward to ask me to help them and support them and help them grow their business. It's been incredible. And it doesn't feel like it had been any effort at all. It's just like when you put vibration out there, you manifest, right? It just comes. It's just attracting energy. And I never ever thought, like, my left brain self would be like, what? This is crazy, right? But my divine feminine self is like, yeah, of course this is happening.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. And actually, can you like talk a little bit more about like whether, or basically the energy that you bring to your business and how like energy fits in with,
Absolutely.
And I mean, your business is a large part of your life. So, you know, how does working with energy fit in? You've already alluded to it. So
yes. Well, I always use energy personally. So for me, I see it comes in different forms, right? So for me, I have a routine in the morning where I respond to myself. Something I tell my clients is always respond to yourself first, which means, when we wake up, instead of checking your cell phone messages, emails, what's on the news, what's on the radio, because then they're reacting to the world. Respond to you first by doing something for you, whether that's meditation. For me, it's exercise. It helps me wake up my brain too. So I'll work for 20-30 minutes, and then I'll meditate and I'll do self-Reiki for about another 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how much time I have before I have to work with wake up my kids. But it helps me set the intention and ground for the day, and then it brings it throughout the day. I know it's a huge difference when I don't do my ritual routines.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm definitely not as present. I'm a lot more anxious and scattered. So this helps me personally and energetically ground. So when I do the Reiki, I radiate the love back into the world. So I purposely do that with intention. I protect myself because I am, as you and I just had a chat about, like I just recently found out I'm a light worker, and that light workers are empaths. I'm not a typical empath, so I didn't even realize I was an empath. I'm like, oh. Okay. So anyway, it's been really, really fascinating. I connect with my spirit guides to guide me in my day, and then also my work with my clients. So I bring that energy into my work with my clients through Reiki, through the Haikomi. I combine those beautifully synchronized together. I work very intuitively, and I feel into people's energy. It's very natural for me to do that.
Yeah, I could tell by actually even just our conversation when we met for coffee. Yeah, there is a very distinct connection of energy there. So it was interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of flow. Yeah.
Like, I myself don't know that much about Haikomi, and could you just explain it briefly, just so we have so I and the listeners have a better idea what it is?
Yes. Like, would you like me to walk kind of through how it works a little bit?
Yeah. Like, I honestly, I just don't know that much about it.
Yeah, so. That's okay. Not many people do, and I'm happy to share. So more people do know about it. It's so powerful. So it's a method that. So once again, it works a lot with actually our inner child and on a cellular system. So whatever issue, it could be a traumatic issue, or it could be a developmental trauma issue, just a belief issue, right? That we know, like, I don't want to think this way anymore. I am not enough, right? Like, let's take that one. So that inner child work. So it's like, I'm not enough. And so I help them shift into their body, like bring awareness into their body, notice the sensations. I drop the story, we know sensations, emotions arising. I try to stay more in the body. If there's thoughts that come up, we honor those too. But we run on 3 different engines: our head, our heart, and our gut. And so I'm working more with the gut and the heart to help draw out the wisdom from the body to help them come into a more expansive self. And so sometimes as we're doing this work, we're noticing just whatever the situation is, as we drop the content, we notice, all right, here's how it feels in the body. And I may ask the question, I imagine this feels familiar. How old is it, right? Or how old were you when you first felt this? And it's not coming, the answer's not coming from a cerebral place. It's coming from a body wisdom place. Like, oh my God, I feel like I'm 5. Great, what was happening when you were 5? What are you wearing? And sometimes they might revert back to actually, so if I have like a 40-year-old woman in my office, it might revert back to 5-year-old behaviors, and they start crying, wiping tears like 5-year-olds would, or they start talking and using words like that. More often than not, though, it would be the adult self, the current adult self, being a witness to a 5-year-old self and really noticing that part of them. And then we work through that. So I talk to the inner child. I help create that safety around what's happening that often needed to happen but didn't back then. And so we're talking and shifting things on a cellular level. It's so fascinating. I love it.
Wow.
It's powerful. And so we process and then we integrate back into the adult self. So now it's really feeling integratedly whole again. And so then we talk, I'm also very practical. So then we talk about, okay, coming back to the situation that brought on and triggered these feelings, how does it feel now from this more integrated place? And often, you know, if they feel like they weren't enough and they were fearful of speaking up, for example, it's like, wow, what was I so scared about?
Really?
I can do this. It's so transformative, Lynn. And this can happen over one session or over many sessions. So not every session is this deep, but definitely depending on how much personal development work the client has done in the past. Mm-hmm. Some people really dive in right there and then we can get there in one session. Some people need more sessions. Right. And we still need continued sessions so that it integrates fully, because now we're seeing the world with new eyes. And physiologically, it's really cool because your skin tone starts to shift. There's might be more color. Their eyes look more alert and present. I even have noticed clients start to dress differently if they were wearing more like they were blending in like a wallpaper. Maybe they become more alive in their life. They're laughing more. There's a sense of freedom. There's an openness because they're in this more expansive place internally and mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And it's just awakened. I mean, I can say that for myself. If you look at pictures back then, my eyes look empty as a bodybuilder. Like I have this brilliant smile, but like it's not real. It is now. And now it's just like so much more present, so much more alive. And I'm high on life. The other day my husband was like, man, you are really high on life. I'm dancing all the time. I'm like, I know, it's my energy. So it's just, even as I'm talking, my heart is so open and just this lights me up so much.
It does.
My clients.
It's obvious.
And I also bring in the power of aromatherapy as we do this, because aromatherapy, like aromas are the quickest way to get to the emotional brain, which sits back here. So even right now, like I use Young Living oils. So I'm wearing Believe right now, and Young Living has all these amazing, like 400 plus oils, and they work on not just the mental, emotional, but also the spiritual aspects of properties to transform people. And the power of it, it deepens it that much quicker because it shifts things on the emotional right there. It goes right to emotional brain and it shifts things. And so this can be a practical tool for my clients to keep wearing, because then it'll just remind them of the new expansive place to continue being in. It's incredible.
Wow. I actually didn't realize it was. Now I want to try it.
You're welcome.
That sounds like just, well, I just love trying new stuff that I find out about, like just to see, just to have the experience. And that sounds like something so cool.
It is really cool. It is definitely definitely something that, you know, I really hold the safe and sacred space for my clients, so that it's a container, and when I work with my clients, it's an ongoing process.
Right.
To do it for one session is the container is, I'm going to say it's not going to be enough because it's so deep, right? And there needs to be continued sessions. But yeah, absolutely, it's very powerful when that. I'm going to say the key is the safety in a relationship, right? The relationship between the professional and the clients is there, and then we can just really let things going, letting go of what doesn't serve us, and call in what does, and what.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And
That's like homie.
wow. Yeah. How have we not heard more about this?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I was just gonna say, I amalgamate Haikomi with Reiki, and so it's not like pure Haikomi, but Haikomi is a foundation. I sit in the principles of loving presence, of compassion, there's another principle called where it's like we're really non-violent. So the work is very collaborative, always asking for permission, always inviting. There's no forcing. If a client's not ready to go somewhere, then it's like honoring that. And we work with honoring the resistance that comes up, because the resistance are powerful messages. And so when we work with the resistance, then and honor it, it just falls away, so that what's meant to happen will come forward.
Wow.
I know, Lynn, it's incredible. You can see I love this work.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm very intrigued by this.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Oh, no.
I love your reaction. That's so awesome. That just lights me up, because it's the world needs to know more about Haikomi, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and and that's part of the reason for the podcast, is actually so people get the opportunity to see that there are such a variety of options out there to, get past things, to move on, to become more of that full life living person that you want to be. And, just find what works for you.
Yes.
And, until you try, you never know, but just even finding out, like I said, for me, and I've tried tons of things.
I'm sure, yeah.
And yet, this is something that's new, and it's just like,
very
cool.
It's
amazing, Rosalyn. But Rosalyn, actually, you have a relaunch coming up.
I do, yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? Because actually, I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to go.
Thank you. Yes, I know. I can't wait for you to be there. So my relaunch, so I'm actually in the process of rebranding. I'm getting a new website. Currently, my company has been called the Holistic Body Love. And so because I'm moving, it's not my main focus anymore, the food and body image stuff, although it's going to be still very much part of my work, because women entrepreneurs struggle with food and body image as well, especially self-image and putting themselves out there. But more of my focus are helping women just unleash their inner Wonder Woman, whatever that means to them, but it's their most powerful self, so that they can get their message out there, get more clients, make more money, and create more impact. And so my relaunch is going to be showing off it's going to be a coming out party. That's what I call it. It's going to show off my new website, and it's going to be a workshop as well. The workshop is called Unleash Your Entrepreneur Inner Wonder Woman, Bold, Fearless, and Heart-Driven. Wow. And so it's going to be exactly for women to learn to get out of their own way, come into a place of I am enough, know their value, learn how to charge for their services appropriately, because the undercharging happens a lot. And learn how to not burn out, learn to really just value who you are, stop self-sabotage in your business, procrastination, perfectionism. When we're perfectionists, we freeze, we don't put ourselves out there because it's not good enough yet, right?
Oh yeah.
So if this resonates with anybody, it'll be here in Edmonton. It'll be March 12th from 3 to 6 is a workshop, and then we're going to have a fun mix and mingle networking party from 6 to 8 a.m., all about on purpose, intentional networking. So there's going to be games, because that's how I roll, where each of us will be able to connect with people that are going to help us rise up and support each other in business. I'm really love meeting new people, having women connect. It lights me up. I love connecting professionals together so that they can support each other.
Yeah.
I really know that I'm a connector, and sometimes I'm like, why don't I have my own networking business? But I'm happy to just connect women together and be in a tribe, because together we're stronger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, where can people sign up for that?
Yes. So Lynn, I'll give you the link.
Okay.
So that you can post that in the notes.
Yes.
It'll be under Eventbrite. And it'll be, Monday, March 12th. And you will be required to come to the workshop if you want to come to networking, because I want to keep the energy high vibe and contained, right? When people just come to networking and they didn't do the day of being there and the energy, it just changes the energy.
Yeah, right? It does, yes.
Really sacred, safe place where people are growing together, learning together, and connecting throughout the day.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And
Me too.
I hope some of the listeners actually could make it out. And yeah, I will post the websites and some more of Rosalyn's contact information. Rosalyn, is your website going to be, it'll be changing, or is it changed over already?
Feel free. No, I haven't. So the launch will be the first time people will see my website.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll put my current website on there. People can contact me through there. If they'd like a free discovery call, I do offer those. Lynn, I've also sent a link so that for those women who want to learn more in terms of just having, I have an e-guide called Live a Kick-Ass Life, Tame Your Inner Critic. So they can sign up for that. It's learning about the 7 types. Yes, there are 7 types of inner critic and why we have the inner critic, because it never goes away, but we can learn how to manage it so that it doesn't drive the bus. And that's what this e-guide is for. Not let the inner critic drive the bus, get out of your own way and just move on forward. So it'll be a good start. So the link will be hopefully on there as well.
You bet. Oh, yeah. Fabulous. Well, Rosalyn, it's been amazing chatting with you yet again. And once again, I could keep chatting with you for hours, but somehow I think the listeners would tune out long before. Yeah. Although I definitely am excited about having you back, because you do so much interesting work. And I think I would like to do an entire podcast on energy and karate.
Oh,
that
would be awesome.
But I mean, that is so
mindset and karate, yeah.
Yes. I mean, really.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And I certainly hope that your listeners are walking away with lots of value today as well.
You know what, just from having met you and being able to bring you to hopefully many other people, I know my time with you was amazing, so I'm sure that you will contact, or people will be intrigued by what you do and your story. So it was fantastic to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. And I will, like I said, I will post Rosalyn's information at the end of the podcast here, as well as my own. So in case you want to reach me for any reason, I am still looking for anybody that wants to be on the podcast as a guest. And if there is anybody that would like to sponsor the show as well. And speaking of sponsors, I'd like to thank our sponsor again, Chime for Healing, the custom-made wind chimes tuned to healing frequencies. And actually, I found out they are going to be at the the South Common Farmers Market this summer. So starting in May. So you'll actually, so you'll actually be able to go down and see them instead of just looking on the website.
Yay!
All right. Well, everybody go and have a great day. And can't wait to actually present this. I wish I didn't have a schedule for my postings, but Rosalyn, you'll just have to wait till Thursday.
That's totally cool.
All right. So go have a great day, and we will see everybody again soon. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.